And we're back. This is Matt with Downrange Firearms. What you're watching now is just a sped up version of the completion of the right side of the fuselage. Cutting the remaining angle pieces, all those are mitered cuts. I spared you from watching the video of me learning how to do this properly. The reality of it is I realized once because before I was kind of having to guesstimate and use the table saw a bunch, what I figured out real quick was the miter saw with the speed square clamped to the back fence worked great for getting those hard angled cuts that I wasn't able to get with the chop saw. So moving through here, you can see how I'm actually doing the measurements. I'm lifting the whole frame, putting the piece underneath, and then marking for fitment. That one was a little weird. It was kind of an error in the drawing because the bottom of it was 1/2 inch and then the top of it was 3/4 inch. But that's not actually what was requesting. It actually worked the way we wanted it to with a regular 1/2 inch piece. It was just a matter of making the correction for it. Everything came in cut well and got put where I needed to go. And you can see here with doing the rest of the fitment on the back of this, with lifting the entire frame up out of the jig just so I can mark them appropriately on the top side, and then marking direction and number on top of it. You can see me doing it as I progress. Everything with the numbering and the marking and all that's just to keep everything in order because it's easy to disappear. You can also see me going at that frame with my knife. The leftover epoxy from gluing up those original joints did leave some overage. In order to fix that, just to make sure we had good fitment from all these angled components, I just lifted that up and very, very carefully and gently carved out the leftover epoxy. So as you can see there, that kind of takes care of all that stuff. And then it's just a matter of going through the process of cutting all of these miters. Lots and lots of time involved. You're getting the 16 times normal speed video version of this, getting all these cut and fitted and shaped and everything else that was kind of involved in this whole process. And it definitely is lengthy to say the least, but once we get going with this, it really did feel like it moved fast. So you're watching a couple hours of work in about 4 minutes, but it was really a pleasant experience overall, trying to kind of getting it worked out and all that thing. So here you see me mixing the epoxy. I'm using T88. For those of you who aren't aware, it's 100 parts of the actual epoxy and 83 parts of the hardener. I get fairly close to that ratio on my scale because I measure everything by weight. It's a lot easier that way, and you can see when I'm painting these that I'm painting the end of the actual cut piece and then the actual component where it's mounting up to the rest of the frame. So that's kind of how I'm rolling with this. So once that's all glued up into place, add some clamps just to make sure everything is where it needs to be. That's just tight enough to make sure that the joints hold and not squeezing out all the epoxy. So that was all of the video that I've got for the rest of the right-hand side of the fuselage. Next video you'll tune in for will be doing the left side. So thanks everybody for tuning in. The next videos are going to be a lot nicer for seeing me do this with a little bit of practice under my belt, and it's going to be much cleaner, and hopefully the videos themselves will be a little bit better because I'm doing a little more pre-planning. So thank you for tuning in, everybody, and we'll see you next time.